All right, what's up, folks? Today is August 29th, 2024. Man, you know, the market, it's got its ups and downs. It can take a lot from you in terms of your energy and your vigor, motivate. I mean, it can just take a lot from you. So I'm probably going to take a break. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break. I've definitely got to set some limits on how much time I spend with programming in the market and everything like that. I have a tendency to do it till it's done, and this is something that you really have to pace yourself with. So anyway, short video today. I did want to at least do something. I did spend a little bit of time programming, so I wanted to present something. I wanted to say that I had accomplished something. So essentially, what I did. Here we go. I went to the charts and I was looking at, so not just what I typically look at every day, which is ES, every day, all day, you know. I'm going to start exploring some other parts of the market, right? And so what I said, you know what, I'm going to go look at Microsoft and Nvidia and some of these other big players and just kind of how they move. So I'll be looking at some of that over the course of the next 2 weeks while I'm taking my break, if you will. And one of the things I said is I wanted to put together a little info box up here about whatever ticker I might pull up, right? So if I pull up Microsoft, I want to see, all right, well, it's got, you know, so much capitalization. Or if I pull up, like I was looking at Dollar General today, and because I saw something that said that it dropped significantly, like 30-something%, right? So it went from 125 to 92, dropped $30. I mean, yeah, that's quite significant. So I wanted to see if I could put together some information that shows up on the screen up there. All right, so like I said, into a little box or something like that. And I can work on that, but for now I just wanted to start on the main components of that box, which would be just getting the information. So let me see, here we go. All right, so just getting the information. All right, so I knew that I had been able to achieve this before, but this is essentially what it takes. So let me see if I can do this more or less from scratch. All right, so here's this, there's that. Let's open up the split screen here. Okay. All right, so we're let me make sure that I have everything hooked up here. I feel like the video might not, maybe the video isn't being captured. I'm gonna try to do this under 10 minutes, so I've got another 5 minutes left. Come on, come on, come on. And it's fairly simple, fairly complicated. It took me, a little bit of time, maybe 30 minutes or so to kind of figure it out, but I don't think it should take that long. It's just that, again, people tell you that TradeStation, EasyLanguage doesn't really have a lot of good information in the help section to kind of help you through the process or make sure that you can get through the process. So it might have been in the OOEL portion of the handbook that is free, so I hadn't looked at that, and maybe it's there, so I shouldn't speak too fast. Okay, so it is working at least. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna make this fairly quick. We're gonna use EL system. Let's start with that. I know that I want to use toolbox. Okay, so there's also a couple other things I want to just kind of mention real quick. Is yesterday I had the delete, I believe, and it has a form on it. Well, to get to the form, all you have to do is go to your view toolbars, and then go to click resource view, right? And so when you get resource view, you click resource view, and then your forms will come up over here, right? And so then you can click on forms, or double click that, and then your form shows up here. Okay, so that's the risk calculator. I was able to get that figured out, so I'll just kind of show you real quick. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, and we need to pull up something that's actually moving right now. SU24, I don't know that it's moving a lot, so I can put my trend line here, and then oh, that's delete, 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 delete. It's delete, delete object. That's how you know that I make a lot of programs, and that, you know, I got a lot of throwaway programs too. Okay, so there's my trend line. Okay, we need to take delete, delete off because it will just delete anything. All right, so now when I click on the object, it doesn't do anything, but then when I go and I put a certain amount of risk on, and then I click on the object after hitting shift first, then it calculates how many contracts I can trade based on this current position here, and this being the stop loss. And you see it's automatically making that, continuing to update that calculation of the number of contracts that I can trade with this amount of risk based on this distance, this range. Okay, and so it's also putting the stop loss amount here, right? So if I change this, and then, so watch this stop loss amount. When I change it, it's going to update the stop loss amount to a lower number. Okay, so everything updates continuously. All right. Okay, all right, but I just kind of made sure that I could get things to work, at least with the update, and I hadn't really looked much else at it, so I have to come back to that when I go back and do the part 2 of the optimization, or that app. I just want to show you that real quick. Where am I at? I got 2 minutes left. I can't do it in 2 minutes. I can't do it in 2 minutes. All right, using EO system. We want to go over here. We want to open up the fundamental quotes provider. Double click that. Go here. We're going to change that to FQP. And then, so a couple things I had to do. Oh, I already have it on here. All right, so click on this FQP. You're going to have load. I put load as false because we want to load some stuff first, and then for the fields you have to put a token list, right? It says that you need a token list of the fundamental quote fields to be loaded. Now, so happens that the fundamental quote fields are here, your names. So the fundamental fields class, these are the names, the descriptions, these are the names of everything in the fundamental quote field. All right, and so for instance, if you want to look for capitalization, it's right here. It's MKT cap, right? And then if you want to look for, and actually I thought it had an I before it. Interesting. It had an I before it when I was looking at it earlier. Okay, and then if you want to get industry name, okay, so you see how these have I's before it? Industry name is F, starts with F, and then it has MGIND. Okay, so essentially, I love that word, essentially, apparently. I like apparently too. All right, but you need to have a token list, right? So the thing is you got to have a token list. So to do a token list, you need to have using EL system dot. No, I think it's token list is tsdata.common. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to have variable. We're going to have TList. Well, it'll be a token list class. TList null. And then so that token list, I'm going to do once begin, end, and then I'm going to say that token list is going to be a new token list, just like that. Okay, so no errors. But now when I take that token list, T list, that's the token list, I put it right there, T list, and I hit OK, and it doesn't take it. Now you could do like, what is it, tsdata.common.token list, and then T list, and it doesn't take it. One more thing we could try, tsdata.common.tlist. We know that's not going to do it because that's not the parameter. Okay, so it's not taking the token list, but you need it to take the token list prior to it loading, and that's why you have load set as false, right? So once you get the information in the token list, whatever the token list is going to be equal, then you can turn on load fundamental quote provider after uploading token list. Okay, so we need to, so now we can do FQP, which is fundamental quotes provider. See, that's the name that we put it right there. FQP dot load is going to now be equal to true. But before we make it equal to true, we need to load the fields to the, first we need to add the stuff to the token list, and then we need to load it to the fields. Okay, so we're going to load token list to fields. And how do we do that? FQP, that's the name of it. And then fields, and then TList. I think that's right. Okay, now how do we add the stuff to the token list? Well, first of all, anytime you're adding something to the token list, you typically want to clear it first, but you know, that's just, I think that's a good habit. All right, tlist.add. Now, what do you want to put in the token list? You want to have a string name, a string of what? A string of the fields. Turns out the number of fields that may be requested by the Foken. I always do these things at the end of the day, man, and my brain is zapped. But anyway, the fundamental quote fields, you can have 200 at max, right? So we're just going to do the two. One of them is the market cap, and then the other one is the, so I think it said, and I'm pretty sure it's got to be case sensitive as well. All right, so we're going to do FMGIND, FMGIND. All right, that's the first one, and then for the second one was market cap. Capitalization, market cap, market cap. Okay. Now we added the token, we added those two field names to the token list. After we added two field names to the token list, we added that token list to the fields parameter of the fundamental quotes provider object, and then we're going to go ahead and load the fundamental quotes provider object. Okay, so we hit verify there, and we shouldn't have any issues now. So after we load it, let's see what we get. So we're going to print, and what are we going to print? We're going to print FQP, the object, and we're going to print, and this is also, like I said, where it gets tricky at FQP dot, I think it's quote, and oh, and you definitely have to have symbol set, because symbol is going to be whatever symbol is assigned to this information, and we're just going to use the symbol that is actually on the screen. So we're going to move this back to Dollar General. Okay, and so on the screen we're going to print, or down here in the area the print log, we're going to print FQP quote of what index. And so now this is the thing. This index here, you're saying, what is it referring to? It's referring to the index of the names of the fields. So if you put quote of 0, quote of 0 is the industry name. So that's going to be a string. This is a double. This is a string. You see, when I put 0 for the index of this string, the industry name, now I need to go down and find the string value. String value right here. And we could do string value last. Otherwise, you do string value, and then you'd have to do another bracket, and then you'd say that it's of 0 periods ago, so the current period. If you were looking for like the I don't know, the earnings per share for like a day ago or a cycle ago, then you'd have this of 1. But if you're looking for it for the current thing, current report, then you put 0. And to forego having to put 0 for everything, you can just do string value last. Okay, and that should be it. That's a string. All right, hit verify. You see what came up right there? Retail, department, and discount. Boom, got it. Now, again, that took me, 30, 45 minutes to kind of figure out just kind of everything. But I gave it to you guys in 17, so I guess it took me that 10 minutes. But anyway, you see if I put a 1 right here, watch this. I'm going to put a 1 right there, and then I'm going to get an error, right? Because if I put a 1 right there, the 1 is the market cap, which is a what? It's a double. It's a number. This is telling you to do a string. Hit verify. I get an error. Okay, so it says native type is double, right? So the market cap is double. However, value was requested as a string. So I just need to take this and make it a double. Verify. Okay, now I just got to turn it back on. And I was calling this object teleport. No, this wasn't object teleportation. That was something else I was working on. Ticker info. All right, there we go. All right, so then that's the market cap, and I guess that's per million. I hadn't looked at the field's names to see exactly how it's defined, but so essentially what I was wanting to do is take all this, and then I was wanting to, and I might have to do a part 2 of this. Well, I guess I will have to do a part 2 of this. EOSystem.drawing, and that's okay. That gives me something to do instead of sitting here for an hour or 2 hours coding, which I mean I will do, but I know attention spans are short, so we're going to do it like this. We're going to add the drawing objects, and then what are we going to do? We're going to do a label text label label no. Okay, now that we got that up, we're going to add that to our one statements of actually I only need to do it once, so we'll do this. We'll say t-label is equal to text label dot create, and we're going to use an XY point. That's the way it stays on the screen, and we're going to put it like x of 20 and y of, or x of 40, x of 50, and y of 50. And then what do we want it to say? We want it to say fundamental quotes provider dot quote of 0 dot string value last. And then we need to draw it. We need to add it to the drawing objects collection, which puts it on the chart. T-label. T-label. All right, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? 50-50? 50-50 isn't showing up. Where you at? Where you at? Let's see. Everything looks right. Let's make sure that 50-50 is in the ballpark. Or it might be more like 100. Nope. 100. All right. It's not showing up, so that means this is all under the once. Begin, do that, do this, do the load, and then that, and then T label, text label that create 100 QP. We don't have any errors. Wait a minute. Maybe we do. Did it not add back? Ticker info, it's on there. Alright, no errors. That was for something else. I'm gonna turn it off, turn it back on. Alright. Let's do this. Instead of putting this here, let's just put hello world, which did not show up either. Again, I didn't think that was the problem. But something is amiss with my drawing. T label, text label. Dot create. Text label dot create drawing objects dot add text label. It is printing. It is printing because we're getting the print down here. You see, and here we're getting the print. So we know that we're coming into this one statement properly. Let's print something on the back side of this drawing objects. Yep, so one is printing as well. So this you should be executing also. Not sure why drawing objects is not. I don't want to say it's not adding it. Let's do this. Let's open up this to the larger screen. I'm gonna take delete off. You know what? I think delete had something to do with it, because delete is something serious. But I mean, it showed up then, so I don't know why. Let's see. I'm gonna turn delete on and then turn on my ticker. Yep, it did not show up. I turn off my delete, turn off my ticker, turn on my ticker. Yeah, that delete is something in it is deleting this text label. So that's okay. And again, you know, when you run multiple things on your charts, you got to make sure they're not interfering. You do. You got to do that. All right, so that is fine. And so, like I said, if we want to add the other one, we just kind of come in here. Probably what you want to do is you make this a method, and then so for every iteration of the field name that you have, it would just type it out, move down a line, and then type out the next one. So if I was to do that, gosh, no, I don't want to do that right now, but I'm going to do it. because it really shouldn't take long. I mean, it's method void draw. I'm gonna just say draw OB, and then we'll say begin, because we're gonna need an index, which should be variable int idx. So that's your index that you're going to use to move through the number of items that you have in your token list. So we're going to say in 4. So we need to count how many things are in the token list. That way we can find out how many lines we're going to have up here. So 4 idx equals 0 to the number of items in your token list, which is token list dot count -1. You're going to begin, and then you're going to end. So we're going to start with whatever's here. I'm going to cut that, paste it there. I'm going to start with the text label, or T label, text label. We'll start with the point, the location. So we're going to bring it back to 50, and then down 50, and then for every iteration of this, we're going to drop down another like 30 points. So we're going to do, since this is the y-axis, we need to use this to drop down. So we're going to add to that, we're going to add plus idx times 30. Okay, so that'll drop it down 30 points for every iteration that we run. And then this quote, this index here, that'll be idx. Now the only issue we're going to run into is here. Is it going to be a string, a double, or what? Now let me see if there's something we can use to get around that, because you got to set Boolean, you got to set your date value, your double. I think we're going to have to use get type to determine what type it is. I think so. But because I don't know what that's going to print, this isn't going to run yet. Let's go down here and go find ask it the type to print the type. Yep, it still want me to correct all this, which this is just asking for let's just put this in parentheses. That way it'll think it's a string and it'll let us continue on. But I think we need another parentheses. What? $50 plus that. Oh, need another parentheses here. And get rid of this one. Okay, so dot type to string. All right. So come back down here. It's already on. I'm gonna refresh it. Okay, so that worked. So you see, I asked the program to tell me from the quotes provider, the first index, what type it is, and it said it's a type double value. All right. Because that means that I need to query the type and then assign the type based on, yeah, it's just got more complicated. All right, so let's query the type first. So we're going to say fqp dot quote of the index dot type dot to string. Or I wonder, yeah, because I need to take that. I need to take that type and use it to assign to the fundamental quotes provider in order to even get the return over here. Funny thing about that, if it's a string, then it needs to stay as its own type. If it's a double, then I need to convert it using a number to string. So this is not going to be very simple. I wish you could just do fqp.quote and not even put anything else, but you got to put the dot provider. Or can I use dot to string and just be done with it? Almost, not quite. It's not returning the value. All right, well, it was worth a try. It was worth a try. So what I'm gonna do just for the short term, is we're just gonna print everything out, and then, like I said, maybe for a part 2, I'll figure out how to do all this to make it work. I got a feeling it's just going to be a lot of complicated code. I don't see any easy way around it, but I do have to look at the rest of the parameters for the fundamental quotes provider, and maybe there's something that'll allow us to do it a little bit easier. So if I right click FQP and fundamental quotes provider, quote class, come down here, you go to methods. You gotta look through your glossary. You gotta look through your help folder. Who can memorize all this stuff for all these different providers and these classes and these namespaces? Nobody, right? So you just gotta know how to work your tools. That's why, I helped my buddy fix a deck today. That's why there's symbols and there's words on your tools. So you got all these different tools. You know where to look and what to find, what button to press. So it's a tool. Just use it. You don't have to memorize it. Just know how to use it. All right. Returns post state returns. Get integer value. Get Boolean value index. Yeah, I'll just have to look through all these. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll have some tomorrow. All right. So anyway, here we'll get rid of this index, that iteration part, because it's just gonna throw it off since we're just running it one time. Yeah. So here we're gonna get rid of the loop as well, because we're just going to run this one time. So for one index, for index 0 was a string, remember? Because it was the type, the industry, and so it is what is it, string value last. Okay, and then the one in index 1, So this would be plus, this one would be plus 30, and this one would be 0. And then fundamental quotes provider is the class, the quote is the object, index is the first index 1, which holds our market capitalization, which is a double value last. All right, and then add that, get rid of that plus. Create is fine. All right, I think we have too many. Just get rid of that. Got that. Still don't like that. Create XY point dot create 50, and then that's essentially just 80. I think it can do that math. We need another parentheses. Not right there. Need it at the end. We have it at the end. That should be fine. Drawing object.t label. That's fine. Don't know what you want, man. 80. That. Well, I tell you one thing. This is going to be a double, and a text label can't plot a double. It can't plot a number. It's got to plot a string. So you would think though that this would tell you, oh, you're trying to show a string. No, you should be showing a double. So we're going to do num2 string. Got the number here, and that's the number, and so we're going to put 0 decimal places, close that, and then close the text label creation. There we go, no issues. All right, now we need to call it though, because we didn't call it. We're going to call it a different way. Draw OB. So when we get done with all this, we just draw OB one time, close it, and there you go. Okay, so, and I didn't lock them or anything like that, but here you would do. I'm trying to do more comprehensive things with my coding. So whereas normally I might put industry like this, and then you put a colon space, and then you put a plus, and then you hit verify. You see it says industry retail like that. All right, and then over here, the other way to do the bottom one would be to do like a F string. You do string.format, and in there you could put this is the market cap, so we put quotations market cap, and then double quotes, and then we put the squiggly brackets 0. It's the first index on these squiggly brackets in the quotations, and then this first number here would be what goes into this first index. So you get rid of those, get rid of that, and then yeah, one more. Let's see. All right, and you see it did the same thing, right? So we have now it's very well defined. Market cap is this, industry is that, but we did it two different ways. One way we use string format, and the other way we use, I guess the guy calls it concatenation. Again, I've been learning some Python, and so I'm realizing that Python is a lot easier than this EasyLanguage. And so that being said, I am learning a lot of things that I can do better with TradeStation EasyLanguage that I'm learning with Python. So and you'd put the $sign over here. Okay, and I guess that's M's, so we put M on the back side of this. All right, sweet. And that's one of the reasons why you like using string format, is because to do all that up here, you'd have to go in and put a bunch of pluses. You'd have to put a plus, and then quotations, and then an M on the back side of that. You see, I mean, it's the same thing, but different ways. All All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. So now we have, and like I said, you can just go and lock this. But now you got different ways that you can couple of different ways that you can get information onto your screens, which, like I said, because I've primarily been looking at ES only futures, I haven't needed any of this really, but now I do want to have some other tricks in my bag. All right, so that's Dollar General. If we switch to Apple, Apple is now communications equipment, is market cap, whatever this is. I might need to figure out some ways to format the number. What is that? 5. So my eyes are. I'm going cross-eyed. I'm gonna have to play with the font and make that bigger. So 585, 344. So 3. So I guess that's 3 bill. I guess 3 trillion. I don't know. Brain's off right now. All right, but of course, to do the font, which I'm not supposed to be doing this, font, new font, null, and then you go in here once and you say font dot new font dot create is, excuse me, new font equals font dot create, and then you'd have the string name, so Arial, and then size, so Arial. It's just what we're always using. We'll go with size 14 and then hit that. That's okay. And now we come over here and we'll do t label dot font equals new font. And you're gonna have to do that for both of them because they're both separate, which that's why I like the idea of using the method, because it would just do it all at one time. You wouldn't have to keep doing copy and paste. That's much bigger now. My eyes can see that. But I don't think that this is M's then. I don't think that that's M's, because that would be a lot of millions. So Apple is 3.4 billion. Yeah. Thousands, millions? Is it 3.4 million? Maybe we'll take the M out. Yeah, it must be 3.4 million. All right, what is Nvidia? Nvidia. Well, nano. 3 mil as well. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Anybody who's watching, chime in. Does that sound right? 3 mil for the market cap on Apple. Let's see. Let me just do a quick Google search. Alexa.
Capitalization is $3,490 billion.
Excuse me. Shows you how ignorant I am. Wait a minute. She said, I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. Yeah, well, yeah, so trillion then. All right, well, apparently I've got to get out of ES so I can figure out what's going on with the market more. All right, so Apple is 3 trillion. All right. Now, but some things, as I understand, for the fundamental quotes field provider, you need to, we'll go over this on another day, but you need to ask it if it has information, right? So for ESU, I don't know that it has information on that. ES is coming up as under electric utilities. I am surprised that it came up with anything and gave us a market cap as well. So because it's their futures, so I don't know about that. But you see, when I did NQ didn't come up with anything, right? Because I don't think it has it. Okay, here we go. It says there is no data for field market cap for a given symbol. So what you have to do is you actually have to query and ask, is there information for these fields before you use it? Okay, so again, I think that'll make more sense once I come up with a clever way to to use the double or the string value, and then we just do it all in the method, and then they just do it like that. Okay. All right, guys. You have any questions? Put them in the comments. You know, as always, subscribe, tell a friend. Tell a friend. This is a small community of programmers and smart people. I'm not one of them. I just pretend to be on YouTube. But if you know somebody who can benefit from a programming community, then by all means, let them know. Share the video and join us on Discord. All right. I'm Eric. I'm out. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.